What's up, YouTube people? Today I think I'm going to show you something that, at least for me, is very meaningful. Because I think it's one of the few things left in Spain and even in Europe. And as you saw in the thumbnail, we're going to visit a school that dates back to 1920 and is practically untouched. It's as if the students just left and time completely stopped there. We've had the opportunity to come and film this place because they need help restoring it. Now I'll show you the condition it's in. And it's a shame to lose this heritage, since this school wasn't public back then. A person from here, from the village, who was wealthy, put up the money to build it so the children could study. Because we were in a very isolated area, we're in a place where the nearest town is, well, just imagine, back then, but even now, it's about half an hour, 45 minutes by car. So I want to show you this because I think it can't be forgotten. And it's very important that this video, not for me or for the channel, but for these people who are doing such a magnificent job. Share it as much as you can, and above all, it's really important that if you can, even if it's just €1 or $1, whatever you can contribute, anything from whichever country with whatever means you have, to support the cause. In the video description, I'll tell you where you can donate. Anything would be welcome to help restore this gem, so I won't take any more of your time, and I'm going to show you this, which I'm personally blown away by. First, I want to show you the building now that I'm here, okay? The construction they use here, we're right next to Galicia, and the roofs are made of slate, they're dark instead of being made of tiles. What I wanted to show you is that the structure of the school from the outside, where you would enter, okay, the little walls, and then look, there's nothing around here, it's all nature. The only thing here is the village, that's over there. I've been told this house dates back to around 1500, and there's already a record of it, though it's now in ruins. Here behind me is the village, and as you can see, it was very close to the town center. And we can go in if you want. Let's take a look, because I haven't seen it in detail yet either. So let's check out the details, okay? Look, the windows are made of chestnut. They're authentic from that time period. They're not restored or anything at all. They're just as they were in 1920. Down below, they would have space to store tables and little things they might need. And look, let's go in, as if we were the kids from that time, heading towards the entrance. This is where you would enter, and as you can see, now there are some small flowers and such, which the kids from that time probably also planted here. And look, the structure is what we were talking about, it's collapsing. And that's why they need help, okay? To put in windows, to do some basic maintenance so that this isn't lost or doesn't collapse. Well, the door isn't the original because they've had to modify it, but I've been told that it's inside. They've lent me the key, and the key is from that time period, okay? It's the original one from the school. Let's open it, because look at this lock. Look, it was already open. It must have been Gilberto, the person who helped me with this. I'll introduce him to you later. He made it possible for me to get in. Well, look at the first detail. An old milk can that probably was here, maybe as a decoration. I think it was actually used back then. They'd bring fresh milk to drink and everything. I'm telling you, this place feels frozen in time. Look, the ceiling is made entirely of chestnut wood. The beams are in pretty good condition, thanks to two people who took care of this place. It's maintained this way to prevent it from falling into ruin. The floor is original too, also made of chestnut wood. I know you're already noticing things, but let's go step by step so I can give you a broad overview. I'm honestly amazed. It looks like a movie set, but it's real. Everything you're going to see here is real, 100%. These are the original desks made of chestnut wood, with the holes for the inkwells, as you can see there, and in some of them, as we'll see later, the original ones are still there, okay? I'll start here. There is a note informing us that this school and residence were built under the sponsorship of Manuel Uria and his wife Julia, and it explains a bit of the history, okay? About the school, because after they made that donation, they put up this explanation. so people would know a bit about the school's history. Let's go this way, and here I was really impressed because they still have the original locks, as you can see there and there. They are 100% original. You can see the rust on them. This is where the teacher used to keep all the books and materials. Well, as you can see, I'm amazed. Down here, there's a briefcase, a leather briefcase. Well, it just has modern things inside. I mean, well, modern. Cardboard. It's not that old either, but look over here, here's, I don't know, let's see if we can find a date on any of these around here. So we don't have to dig around too much because, as you can see, there are still cobwebs, as you can see, because time stopped here. It's not like people come to visit or anything. People have now raised the alarm about this school because it's falling apart and they want to preserve it so that people can get to know it and see how children lived and studied back then, almost 100 years ago. Look, the first document we found here, I don't know if you can see it well, is from 1969. Because I've been asking around, and this school was in operation until about 73, more or less, around those years. But look, primary school record book. Wow, incredible. Let me see if I can show it to you. Well, look, well, here you can see a lot of really old stuff related to school. Here are some weights that, well, as you can see, these weights are really old. Imagine, it must have been a weight they used here to teach the kids, because knowing how to weigh things was really important back then. Over here there are a ton of newspapers, old things, and well, I'll show you in a bit more detail later, okay? So we don't drag this out and can focus on what really matters. I found that on top of the table, I imagine they must have put them here because they found them over the time they were working here and organizing things a bit so that we could come and see it. This is a jump rope made of wood, as you can see, incredible. Well, this is a detail from the Collada school, which would be the little bags that children used to take to class in the past, okay? Amazing. Look, tests that second grade students have to take. Arithmetic. Well, incredible. Honestly, I really wanted to record this on the spot because I wanted to be amazed together with you when watching the video. Well. Well, this is the original door that was here at the school, and it has some writing on it that I don't know if you can see clearly. Let me turn the light down a little, maybe you'll be able to read it better. I'll switch to this one. It says, "The tree is a treasure, cultivate it and protect it." Well, just imagine, this door was made with chestnut wood. And even back then, you can see how aware they were about the environment, right? They used to say that trees had to be cultivated and protected so you could also benefit from their wood and build structures. Just like that. I've mentioned in other videos that I'm passionate about doors. And this one is, well, 120 years old to be exact. A little more, because this school started being built in 1917, right in the middle of the flu pandemic. Well, what we have here is a physical map of Europe, okay? And it's original from 1920. I mean, this is where the children had to learn the rivers, everything, absolutely everything. And well, since it's authentic, I don't know if you can see it, if you can really tell. It's authentic, really. It wasn't made for decoration or anything like that. And look, I don't see any dates, which is what I wanted to show you, but the guy here, the one who let me in, told me it's from around 1900, maybe 1920, from when the school opened. There's another one that's even older that I'm going to show you now, which is on the other side. Well, look, they would keep books here. Spectacular. Really, truly spectacular. Look, here we have another map which is France, Spain and Portugal. And as you can see, it's a map that shows what people did in each province. I mean, what people made a living from in each province. For example, in Asturias, where we are in Spain, it was various industries and export and livestock in the area, in each place. It showed what people did and how they made a living. How they made a living. Well, another detail that amazed me is when it comes to the Spanish and Portuguese colonies, it actually specifies which ones were Portuguese and which ones were Spanish.
I don't know if you can see it well there, but I think it's incredible.
The children, of course, from that time were taught according to the times. Well, here's another piece of furniture, and this one still has the original door with the original lock. Amazing, amazing, man. Wow. The cells are missing, likely removed due to worm damage to preserve the chestnut furniture, which, as you can see, lasts a long time when well made. In every classroom of, you know who that is, right? Miguel Primo de Rivera. I mean, he was a head of state here in Spain. He was, well, I wanted to explain that in all schools, at least here in Spain, they always display the head of state. In this case, it would be the king of Spain right now. In his time, it was also Franco. And at that time, well, before Franco, there was this man, Miguel Primo de Rivera. He carried out a coup d'etat with the support, I mean, he was favored by the king of that time, Alfonso, and until the beginning of the civil war, he was the head of state. Later on, for treason, it's said that he was executed by firing squad. But there you have the photo from that time of who was the head of state. Look, here is where they kept the chalk holder, where they kept the chalk, which is original. It's made of chestnut wood, and as you can see, it's a bit worm-eaten. But that's normal, given how old it is. And the blackboard is made of chestnut. I mean, it's not even slate, it's entirely made of chestnut wood. All of it, entirely. And it's the original from that time. As I always say, everything here is from that time. Well, look at the view through the window. I have to get a little closer so you can see it. Well, look, pure nature. Well, and here you have the original teacher's desk with its drawers, everything. I mean, everything is here. Look, the wooden ruler, the briefcase, where I'll open it for you so you can see, but a briefcase, oops, it's about to fall, a wooden briefcase as well. Let's leave it as it was. Look. It's all original, and I love it because this has been used since 1920. Imagine what it must have witnessed. Look, like I was telling you, the original inkwells. This is a relic that has been preserved because, as you can see, they're fragile, and for 100 years to go by without anyone vandalizing them or anything, well, that's pretty rare to see. And I wanted to give you a panoramic view of what the teacher would have seen back then. The teacher would all the students from here, sitting and studying, and I imagine he would also throw the eraser at anyone who misbehaved. And well, I'm going to show you what really amazed me, which is a map, the last map I mentioned, which is the oldest one. It's an original from 1877. I don't know if you can see it there, where you can see all of Spain's geography. Well, here's one detail. We're not exactly in Cangas, but look, Cangas, what is now Cangas del Narcea, isn't called Cangas del Narcea. See? See, if you can make it out, it's covered by protective plastic. And it was Cangas de Tineo. Cangas de Tineo. Whew. Well, the original chestnut windows, these are the ones they want to restore because, as you can see, a lot of water and rain hit here and they need to do something about it because the wall is cracking, absolutely everything is cracking. And, well, I don't know what else to show you because there are so many details that it would make the video much longer. Look at this little slate to be able to erase what was written on it. Whew. Whew. I don't know. I'm really shocked, honestly, guys. I don't know if you guys are as amazed as I am, but I think that from what we've been researching and asking around, a preschool like this, I think if it's not one of the few that's so well preserved, It's the only one in Spain, and maybe even in Europe. I mean, one of the few in Europe that's still preserved, and in a natural setting like the one we're in, which is really impressive. So that's it. Well, I hope you really enjoyed it, because honestly, I'm amazed. Thank you. Well, before ending the video, I didn't want to say goodbye without introducing you to Benigno and Gilberto. Gilberto is the person who made it possible for me to enter this magnificent school. And Benigno was a former student here at the school, right?
Yes.
Incredible. So you can see that these places are living history. This man used to attend class here. So at what age did you come to school here? How old were you when you came to the school?
Since I started here,
At what age did you start? From what age?
at 6 years old.
You started at 6,
Yes.
and you were very happy here, I imagine.
Well,
And how was your teacher? What was she like? We used to get hit a lot. A lot? With that ruler I saw over there? No, because I saw a ruler there that with the hand, and well, that's it. Honestly, I imagine you must be very happy here, since this town is a truly unique natural spot. Back when I used to come here, there were about 40 or 45 of us. 40 or 45 students. Incredible. And now the schools in these little villages have barely 5 or 6 students, and many are thinking about leaving. Now they're closed. They're closed. Incredible, honestly. That's it, guys. I sincerely hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. I experienced everything just as you saw it on camera, and honestly, I was sometimes amazed, as I've said before, because I kept repeating how amazed I was. And well, I wanted to tell you that this school is in Collada, and the students who came from the surrounding area came from Barres, Villanueva, and Trabaces. They were the kids who usually came here, and that's why they had the classes of up to 45 students. Nowadays, as you can see, there is no one here. And in the nearest schools, there are at most 5 or 6 students. And it's a shame. That's why these people decided to restore this place, hoping people will visit, or at least learn how people lived 120 years ago, and how people came to study in these villages. And without going on much longer, I'll leave my Instagram down here, and if you follow me, you really help me a lot, because that's where I'm most active and where I post daily everything we're discovering and the places we visit. And I don't have much more to say. Whatever you can contribute, whether it's €1 or whatever you can give, is welcome, because these people deserve it, and above all, this school deserves it, so it doesn't fall apart. So that's it. I'll see you in the next video, and remember that I'll leave the link below where you can donate the money. See you.